Through most of my career as a videographer, live sound engineer, and technical director in the nonprofit space, I rarely, if ever, had big teams to work with. Or small teams for that matter. So while I did have lots of planning to do, project plans weren't really a thing that I considered. I mean, why would I take the time to write or schedule out a plan if I was going to be the only one seeing it? And even when I did have a small volunteer team to put to work, it was almost always only for a few hours at a time. We would meet for a few minutes at the start of an evening of work, and I would dole out assignments and we would get going. Now, I look back and cringe at the amount of time I wasted doing things that way. And not just my time either, the valuable time of my group of volunteers too. See, I thought I had everything organized in my head. For some small projects, maybe I could get away with that, but for the larger ones, no way. My mental project plan model was flimsy at best and catastrophic at worst. Fast forward a couple years to me leaving the nonprofit world and starting with Team Gantt. We were a small team and I was sure that my keep it all in my head approach would still work. And it did. For about a month. Then projects started to get bigger and they required people and resources other than just me. Not only that, but the deadlines were tighter than I was used to and I had more than one major project in progress at any one time, which was a whole nother wrinkle for me to figure out. This is the part where I should have put the pieces together that I was working for a company that makes project planning software, but I'm stubborn, so yeah. After a couple stressful projects that got finished late, not being quite as efficient as I should have been, and a few very difficult but gracious conversations with my project stakeholders, I finally got the hint. Okay, so I'm ready to start creating project plans. Great. Now what? I finally decided to sit down and write out every single thing that needed to be done for my next project. Not only the task, but how long I thought it would take, which tasks could be worked on concurrently, which ones were dependent on others, and if I would need any outside help for anything. As you can imagine, the list got long and confusing. I can't believe I tried to hold this in my head for all my past projects. Next, I sat down in Team Gantt and started planning it out. First, I just put all the tasks I had written down into the task list. No scheduling yet, I just got everything in there. Then I started with my estimates and scheduled every list item as a task stretched out for as long as I had estimated it would take. Then I added dependencies so I could make sure I didn't get ahead of myself. When I was done, I sat back and I looked at my masterpiece of a plan. And it was gonna take way longer than I actually had to get the thing done.
Houston, we have a problem.
After the panic subsided, it was time to take a closer look at my plan and optimize it. Will it really take me 3 days to write that script? What about this section of screen capture? Couldn't I get that done in 2 hours instead of 4? These 3 tasks could actually be milestones and can all be knocked out on the same day. And if I can get this first edit done in 6 hours instead of 8, then that'll leave me time to do the audio mix and maybe even get started on the color correction. What I quickly realized is that having everything written out in a plan allowed me to see potential pitfalls and address them before I ever started working on anything. Previously, I would have assumed everything was good to go and been in a real pickle when things inevitably went off the rails. And they would have, because they had so many times before. Another thing I realized is that there were tasks on my plan that I was too ambitious about. Seeing it on a timeline allowed me to make adjustments to the plan to keep things moving quickly, but realistically. Don't get caught in the trap of thinking that your plan only exists to make everything happen faster. A plan isn't magic. The work still needs to be done by imperfect people in an imperfect world. Things will come up, people will get sick, equipment deliveries will be delayed. I mean, a global pandemic might kick off. Who knows? Your plan exists so you can get a realistic schedule for getting everything done, not so you can do twice the work in half the time. Oh, and there's another upside to this planning thing that I had never considered before. Planning everything out and then tracking how long it actually took to get the tasks done can be super helpful when you have to plan your next project with similar work. If you're consistently giving yourself 3 days for a task that end up only ever taking 2 days, you can start to make that adjustment on future plans. And the reverse is true too. If you've been cutting it close on a certain type of task and finding yourself cutting corners to get it done, now you know you need more time to get that done on future plans. Your estimates will get better, and before too long, your plans become stress killers. You get all the work done you need to with less stress and more accurate predictions for your stakeholders. Okay, so some final thoughts. Remember, your project plan is an important tool that will help you to organize your thoughts on how the project will work, think through all the tasks that need to be performed, assign timelines or estimates to tasks, Consider what, if any, outside people or resources you may need, and get better at estimating future projects. If, like me, you do a lot of similar projects, it can be frustrating to reinvent the wheel every time you have to build out that next project plan. Enter Team Gantt's project planning templates. We have an entire library of planning templates that you can use to get a head start on your project plans. And on the off chance that you can't find a pre-made template that fits your needs, you can turn one of your past project plans into a template yourself. It's easy. Just open the project you want to save as your template and go to Menu, Save as Template. You'll get a dialog letting you know that the project is now marked as a template. The next time you need to create a project, you can select your template when you create the new project. Just give your new project a name and select the Save template. When you create your project, you can decide whether to bring in notes, comments, or checklists from the template project, select which days of the week you want your project to cover, and Team Gantt will even suggest people to invite to your new project. That's it for today. Hopefully that helped you to see the value in always having a plan and using templates in Team Gantt to make creating those plans easy and painless. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever we release a new video. Thanks. We'll see you next time.